Let's talk about it. Being the person everyone can count on sounds like a good thing at first, right? Until you're exhausted and overwhelmed and saying yes to everything under the sun, even though you know you really want to say no. So if you are a people pleaser, there are ways to break that cycle without feeling guilty. We have relationship and life coach Dr. Sheron Patterson. She is here with simple ways to start putting yourself first. This is a really good conversation to have. Good morning.
It is prevalent everywhere, male, female, all the different ages.
So tell me, why is it that we find ourselves in this space? Why do we feel the need to say yes? Why do we feel the need to? Because it's different than simply just being kind, right?
Very different. People pleasing is a habit. You habitually put other people's preferences, hopes, dreams ahead of your own all the time.
Okay, so why can people pleasing become this space that's hard then to get out of, even when we do have those good intentions?
Right, because it's a habit, and you become addicted to saying yes and making people happy, but listen, at your own expense.
I was about to say, because can we be addicted to something that's not good? Well, yes actually, yes. I heard it after I said it. Okay, so what are some signs that someone may be in a people pleaser space, and they might not even know that they're in that space?
One of the clues is resentment. You get tired of that person calling you all the time, but they call you because they know you're gonna say yes every time. So you harbor that resentment, and there's a slow burning rage inside of you.
You know, that's so true, because you'll sit on it and you'll sit on it and you'll sit on it, and the other person has no idea that you feel this way until it blows up and then it becomes a real problem. And so let's talk about the guilt of that, the guilt of saying no. And why is it so difficult for people pleasers to get comfortable with that? Because no is a sentence in itself.
Yes. The guilt is, Erin, once we dig down deep, we are afraid of the reaction when we say no to someone, because maybe in our past, no, speaking up for yourself led to rejection, abandonment, violence, harsh words. So we think we are protecting ourselves by saying yes and going along to get along, but in fact, we're harming ourselves. We are digging our self-esteem a deep pit and falling into it every single time we say yes.
Oh, okay, so when we say yes, I mean, like you said earlier, it's almost you say yes to them, but you're saying no to you, because you know you don't want to do it, but you're still showing up anyway. And so what does that look like in an everyday space? Because I know sometimes we can say, oh, well, that's not me, and sometimes it be us.
It is us. With our families and our relationships, on our jobs, we want peace. We don't want the smoke.
We don't. We don't. Sometimes we say we do, but we actually don't.
We don't. We want to just go along to get along. But the key is, are you sacrificing yourself? And Erin, a low self-esteem will allow you to keep saying yes, yes, yes. And you got to get the guts to say no. And let me confess on TV right now.
Uh-oh. Let's get into it, an exclusive.
I am a reformed yes girl who could never say no.
Honestly, I think I'm still in the space of reforming, actually. You know what I mean? Because I think we're in a space where sometimes the way others feel about us then in turn makes us feel good about ourselves, right? So if they're happy with us, then my self-worth is high today. You know what I mean?
Yes, and we cannot put self-worth and approval on the same pattern with yes and no's.
Right.
Because I can say no to you and still have self-worth.
Amen to that. I can still be the same person and still not show up if I don't want to.
Show up. Wait a minute, for your job?
Well, no. I'm just saying, like, you know how someone says, let's do dinner, or let's do this, or let's do that, and it's like, girl, I don't have time, but I'm still gonna try and find a way to show up for you, you know what I mean? But sometimes I need to show up for myself. I don't have to show up for you always, I need to show up for me.
And the key, right, where you're going, a healthy no.
Yes.
It's not like I'm not mad at you, I don't think poorly of you, I think well of myself.
Yes.
And I have a healthy no. And I smile and say, girl, I just can't do it.
And you can stand in it and say, I feel okay in the fact that I said no. Because sometimes you say no and then you end up regretting it for the rest of the night, even though you know you were happy to stay on the couch. You know, you talking about show up like I'm not going to come to work. Girl, I got to show up. I got to be here now, okay? Somebody got to sit here.
I'm trying to dig down and figure out what's going on.
Okay, so boundaries, they can feel uncomfortable, especially when you're just starting to get used to the space of not always making everybody else happy. And so what does healthy boundaries look like? I know you just said healthy no,
Yeah.
but in that confrontational space, how do we keep it healthy?
Boundaries are not optional. They are a requirement for every human being. Boundaries are not walls, Aaron. They're guardrails for our relationship. Boundaries teach people how to treat you.
Yes.
And if you let people mistreat you, abuse you, take everything you have, and you sit there and say yes and grin, they're going to keep coming. But the day you put that boundary up and say, no, I'm not going to be able to do it, and you smile and walk away, you teach them how to treat you, and they will think twice about using you again.
People only do what you allow. Yeah.
Yes.
I hear what you're saying. I hear where you're going with it. Because like you said, we end up in this space where we feel selfish or almost like we're pushing people away. And it's not that. It's just, I have to put myself as number one on my list. And so I love the question that you recommended asking before, automatically saying yes. Am I doing this out of love, or am I doing this out of fear of disappointing someone else?
Yes.
And I think that's big. And so how can that one question change our decisions overall? Because honestly, I might start asking myself that too. Like, am I going out for me, or am I going out so that everybody else won't be mad at me that I didn't go?
Right. Everyone should ask themselves that question. Take a beat. Just pause for a minute. When you get asked to do something, for a fraction of a second, who is this for? Is it about them? Is it about me? Am I protecting myself?
Right.
And self-esteem won't let you be taken advantage of. Your self-esteem will say, oh no, I'm not doing that.
We ain't doing that.
We're not doing that.
But we have to get to that space first. And so let's say we're in this people-pleasing space and we've been here for years. You know, it's hard to break. How can it then affect our energy, our relationships, even our senses of who we are?
Aaron, you can lose yourself by being a people pleaser. You run around taking care of everybody else, but you don't take care of your own needs. So loss of self, and once again, that crippling self-esteem. A crippled self-esteem will never let you stand up for yourself.
Exactly.
But there's hope.
There is hope.
Yes. Starting by saying no. Say it with me. Say no.
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 Look, I'm going to use that this week. I don't know when, but I know somebody's going to be like, let's do this. No. Okay, so I know someone's listening right now and they're thinking, what is one thing I can do? Oh, you know what?
What?
Say no. Say no. That's your one thing to do this week. Try it out.
It's easy. It's free. Just do it.
It's free.
Just do it.
Okay, let's talk about it because you got an event coming up this Saturday. What's going on, my girl?
I'm teaming up with my buddy Sheron Jackson for an event for women my age, our age, 60s and older. It's a healthy aging event called Vent. Everyone voicing everyone's needs together. Redbird Event Center. Come on out Saturday morning. Good bites, good advice on aging with intention.
There you go. And maybe even pulling ourselves out of that people-pleasing space as we age. Get into it. Those are going to be some good conversations. Where can people find you?
DrSheronPatterson.com.
It's just that easy. Thank you so much for being here.